the same physical location. Okay, I'm going to use Windows authentication. What you will find is if you put it on two separate machines, that you have to use SQL authentication. So obviously you'll have to create a SQL account on your SQL instance, and then give the logon credentials in there. Oh, I failed. So why have I failed? Let's have a look. Oh, I've spelled it incorrectly. Okay, now I've correctly I've connected. You also need to make sure this isn't important at all for the web.config, but this one is. What you'll see there is that that's my website, and if I had multiple websites, I'd have them appearing in there. So for each, so what I do is I pick the correct website. Now to keep it simple, I've just got one in there at the moment. To deal with multiple websites, we'll do another guide. Okay, the other important thing to change here is I want to set the demo UK to the default, because that then this dictates that this is the connection that the website will be using. Now, a little tip here is press the save button here, because if there's anything wrong with any of my details, it'll flag them up there. If I press save and close and there's a problem, it'll tell me, but then it'll bomb out and won't save it. For example, if I put the wrong password in there, it says incorrect password. Now, if I'd saved and closed, it would just exit, so I'll lose all my details. So it can be a little annoying. So, yeah, they're all correct. Save and close. Now if we go back to IIS and browse, you can see the website actually appears. So we close this down and actually go into go into Internet Explorer and type localhost ASP.NET Storefront IIS. You can see our website actually appears. Now if you have changed the actual virtual directory that it uses, I did say there's a couple of settings that you need to change, and they are, if you go into the web store, into your website, these details here. So if it, for example, you just put storefront or whatever it, ASP2 or ASP or whatever, you need to amend that there, and you'd also need to amend this here. The other thing as well, obviously I'm working in a demo environment here, so it's fine for me to have local host. But if you're got your server on your website on a server, which you will have, you'll need to actually give this the IP address of the actual server. Otherwise, when you come to upload pictures through Interprise, it won't work. So, for example, you put 217 or 88.248.44.48 / your virtual directory, or it may just be your IP address there. The way to test it, to see if this actually works, is to reset of web cache. If that completes, then you know those are working. If I change these, just put a 2. You'll get an error message like that. And that way you know you've got an issue. So let's change that back. It's fine. The other issues you may come across while installing is user permissions. Again, I'm working in a demo environment. It's all on my machine, so I'm not coming in over an external IP. But one of the things that you need to make sure of is this directory that you're actually accessing the actual security on it. You've got a couple of different users. One in XP, you need to have the ASP.NET Storefront user added, and you actually need to give it permissions. I haven't done that yet, so let's do that. You need to give it read write, and you need to populate those down into the directory. And if you're using a server environment, then you need to have the network service user and do the same. And the other one is the internet guest account. You need to give those read write permissions as well. And what that internet guest account will do is actually give access to people coming in over an external IP address to that web service. They'll actually be able to view the page, otherwise they'll have an error. The other user permissions we need to set up is there's 3 folders within Enterprise eBusiness ASP.NET Storefront folder that need to have write permissions. One's the custom plugin directory. So again, for the ASP.NET or the network service, depending on if you're working on XP or a server respectively. Download is the other folder. And the last but not least is the images directory, because you upload images. What you'll find, if I don't actually give the permissions on this folder, let's not do that. If I just take one of my images, notice it's validating the URL when I go in here. Again, you'll get an error message if it can't do it, just like I did when I reset the web cache. Go to the images directory. So we'll just use the wheel for the time being. What you'll find is you'll get an error message like that. Okay, and if you actually read it, all it's saying is access denied to the directory ASP.NET Storefront. So what I need to do is I need to go back into my directory, onto the images, properties, security, ASP.NET Storefront, and give write permissions. What we find now when we upload, successful. And what you'll see is in that directory, within the product folder, you'll see the different sizes of images that we can upload. And within large, you'll see my large wheel, because I've actually imported a large image. And what it does, it just takes that image, renames it, obviously creates a copy, doesn't take change your existing, the image you're uploading from, and gives it the name of the counter of the actual product. So item 100 frame is actually number 19 in my database, so it renames that the image 19. We'll come back to images in more detail, but just gives you an idea of how they're stored. They're stored in a directory on the server. They're not actually stored within the DB. So from a backup perspective, you need to make sure that you obviously back these up as well, this whole folder. Okay, that about rounds up the installation guide for eCommerce.